Hi, everyone. Welcome to Wednesday Wisdom. Today, we are going to be talking about the products that are in the October promotion. And so you might be going, great, I'm watching the replay. It's no longer the October promotion. Why should I continue watching? It's because we're going to talk about each individual product and how you use them and amazing things that they could be used for all year round. And it's going to be really beneficial. We are also going to talk about the holiday launch, which starts on Monday. So if you're watching the replay, that might be less relevant to you depending upon what time of year you're watching it, but you can always get some really good marketing information. So it's still worth a good watch, you guys. So I want to welcome Elizabeth Rose and Jan Wager, Terry's amazing daughter and sister, because Elizabeth compiled some amazing information for today. So Elizabeth, show us your amazing blog and whatnot. I know she does such a beautiful job on blogs, you guys. And you can find her blog on Life with Rose, lifewithrose.com/blog. And check out all of her blogs over there. And her one on Ningxia Red is really, really good as well. So go check them out. But Elizabeth, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so excited for today. And Beverly, could you allow me to share the screen, please?
Absolutely.
Thank you. This was so much fun. Last night, Aunt Jan and I were actually sitting on my mother's couch together as I wrote this blog. And what a family affair. And so I just kind of said, Aunt Jan, would you join me tomorrow, please? And she goes, what are we doing? I'm like, well, we're talking about the promotions. Okay, I can do that. So it's so fun. Aunt Jan in the past has done amazing teachings on the Savvy Minerals, as well as you joined Christina one time and talked all about using Young Living's products with a family. And that just was so fun. I think Christina even maybe had Olivia come on and just be there as a young person. And it's amazing because Young Living's products literally can be used with all ages.
Absolutely, Elizabeth. It's phenomenal. I mean, basically, we call them our oil babies, and now they're 20, 17, 14, and 9. But we still call them the oil babies because that's all they know. Oils and supplements and Ningxia Red.
Absolutely. It's amazing. And that's a little bit like my brother Joseph, who is now living in Hawaii, jumping out of airplanes and doing all sorts of crazy stunts. And his nickname is still Lavender Boy. So even at 27, he has a nickname.
He'll never lose that nickname.
Absolutely. So today's oils are super fun. The name of the teaching that I came up with is Receiving Maximum Savings with Young Living's October Promotions and Sale. And the reason we love doing these Wednesday Wisdoms towards the beginning of the month to talk about the promotions is because these are amazing products that some individuals have never used, or you may have them and you may not know quite what to do, or you want a little bit of a, hey, go grab that off your shelf. So let's get started. And the beautiful thing is too, I believe I'm allowed to mention this, is that there is a Young Living sale coming up. I don't know details of the sale, so I'm not going to tell you anything beyond that. However, in just a few days from now, there is a sale coming up with Young Living. And what's beautiful is we're going to talk about the 5 main ways that you can get the best discounts and earn the most free products with Young Living and how to order to do that. Everybody loves sales, right?
Yeah, I am so excited for a sale week, you guys. I'm like really jazzed up about it. I can't wait to see what they have in store for us.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And so one thing I literally want to say as we're going through today, yeah, Christmas, this is October. So this is October 12th, we have November 12th, we have December 12th. So that is all of October, all of November, part of December before we get to Christmas. But I want to put this thought out there because this is something I have discovered and figured out over the last 5 years, is actually how to take 3 months before Christmas and maximize the products that I'm putting on my Young Living loyalty rewards order in order to have all of my Christmas presents by Christmas time. but I'm talking not spend like $900 in December. So be thinking, and this is why I added a wish list in here. If you go to my blog, lifewithrose.com/blog, and find this blog, you can go ahead and just do like a double click and click on this image and actually save it as a photo, I believe. And so print it out and fill it out. Be thinking about what your holiday, your Christmas wish list is for your friends, your family, the person that watches your dog, the person that, you know, helps you with your house, babysits kids, their teachers, employers, employees, you know, just people that you really love that mean a lot to you. And find the things within your Young Living store this year that you can purchase as gifts, because there's several main reasons you may want to do this. Why? Aunt Jan, I want you to jump in here and share a few reasons why we want to actually shop from our own Young Living store. So I'm going to stop screen share and we're going to dive into this real quick. A few reasons I can think of is skipping long lines. What else have you got, Aunt Jan?
Have it delivered right to your door. And I think the biggest thing is most of our friends and the people we work with they know that Young Living it's not just something we do, it's integrated into our lifestyle.
Yes.
In every way. And so what better way to encourage folks to consider it if they haven't already done that, than to give them something that could be really supportive of their family's health. And you can wrap them up in really neat little gift bags and put fun, fancy tags on them. But ultimately, what I love to do when I give a gift from my Young Living store is I like to include little information sheets, cards, a postcard, put it on their fridge, or tack it on their health cabinet in their bathroom. So they'll be reminded to think of using that product before they might grab something else. And of course, you know, the Royal Dream Team, we're all into education, and that's how people really discover the value of the oils and why Wednesday Wisdom is so important. So I love doing that. And so many people, I mean, I remember when I introduced my housekeeper to it, when I still had a house in Commerce City. Now I will do it when I get to Florida. But she just was so thankful that she learned about a safe way to clean my home and to clean other people's homes. And it was simple, a glass spray bottle with 2 capfuls of Thieves household cleaner in it and a bow around it. I mean,
that's so simple.
Yeah,
So simple.
She actually got her own account and ordered her own products when she discovered the value.
Yeah, it's so simple and it's so cost effective as well. And one of the things that I've done for my clients in the past as well is, you know how you're saying to include contact information and like a nice little how-to. Remember to put the how-to into the package, you guys, because not everybody knows how to use not everybody knows how to use it, right? I have taken the how-to and the contact information and actually turned it into a little refrigerator magnet. And sometimes that works really well because it just pops right up on their refrigerator. And then if they need to reorder or want to reorder, or they need to remember how to use that product, it's like right there on the fridge, or whatever's metallic. Because I'm learning that some of the newer fridges are not, you know, metal, but they can usually find a place to stick it, right?
Totally. And a lot of times on the side of the fridge is still magnetic, even if the front of it isn't.
Yeah, very true. My current fridge is like that. Everything's going on the side.
So good. So there's just a few reasons why to shop from your own Young Living store to get Christmas presents is because why not give a person something that's healthy that they will actually find value in, that adds fragrance and smell to our lives, you know, rather than like a little trinket that might take up space on a shelf. And then 2 years later, they think, okay, I'm going to regift this now. I'm tired of looking at it. Not that those things can't have a lot of meaning, right?
Right. And, you know, one thing that we just, I think I knew it, but I kind of forgotten. Terry had a client in the office a couple of days ago, and we were talking about diffusers that we use. And so, of course, we pointed out the workhorse Desert Mist, which is just, I mean, it's such a great diffuser. And then the Luster and Lucia. So we were looking them up. I said, okay, let me check out the prices, and I'm going to make you go. You can get a Desert Mist diffuser for $29.95.
Whoa, that's a good price.
Well, it's a great price.
I hadn't
So
looked it up in a while, so
I hadn't either.
wow.
And so if you add a bottle of one of the like orange oil, lemon oil, citrus,
Mhm.
one of the really refreshing, you know, citrus oils, you have a gift for under $50 that is
So
so
true.
beautiful.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking of all the people that have asked me,
Mhm.
what can I do to have my home smell good and not depend on things like the air fresheners? Because now it's coming out how toxic some of these fragrances are.
Absolutely. Yeah. And candles, I was just reading a study about candles and how many of the candles that are used on the market out there have a lot of toxins that go into the air. So even though they're beautiful, what I actually do at my home, snippet, and we'll get back on track, is that I did buy the candles with the battery in the bottom, but they're beautiful. They look fairly real. And so I have my cute little candles because I still love candlelight. Although then on the counter, I have my diffuser.
Yeah.
And it just adds that wonderful ambiance to the season. So there's so many fun ways to decorate. I even have, maybe I'll grab it at one point, but I have a Ningxia red bottle that's empty. And you can go to like Hobby Lobby and they have the lights that you would put down like in a wine bottle. And so the top of it looks like a cap of a wine bottle, right? But it has lights. And so you put the lights down inside the Ningxia bottle and stick the cap on the top. And then you have, voila, kind of an ornament made out of something that is Young Living.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Those are beautiful, beautiful.
So these are just fun ways, that we can give gifts to people so that they get to experience the product line in a way that is giving and loving and kind. And at the same time, chances are, if they're a customer, they may want to reorder it. If they're not, chances are they're going to ask you, hey, how do I get some more stuff from Young Living? So that is one reason why I love giving gifts from our own store. Yeah. So let's go ahead and we are going to talk about savings because we all love to save. Now, here are the 5 main ways that I have figured out how to save. And if Jan or Beverly or Donald have any ideas, you guys are welcome to jump in and join. But to start out, as we know, anyone who is a customer with Young Living, meaning that at some point, either when you first ordered or at a later order. So right now, a customer can join Young Living by doing one of 2 things. You can place your first order that's over 100 PV, which oftentimes is $100 or a little bit more, and that automatically locks you in at the wholesale price. The other thing you can do is get on the loyalty rewards program, and that will also lock you in at our wholesale pricing. Okay. So as a Young Living customer, you get 24% off already, which is retail 24% off of retail pricing. So that's number 1. Number 2, you've probably heard of the loyalty rewards program. And I just had a gentleman the other day, actually, I helped him place an order. We had everything in his shopping cart and he asked me, hey, do you have any additional savings? Like, is this the best possible price I can get? And I was thinking, well, he's going to get the 24% off on wholesale pricing, and he's going to earn all of the promo products that are at the 300 PV mark, right? So I told him about both of those. And I said, sir, the only better thing you could do is join our loyalty rewards program. And what that looks like is after your order this month, we will talk on the phone again. We'll decide what you want to restock on next month. I'll help you change your order, and you will have a monthly kind of like an auto ship program go out. And with that, for the first 3 months, you get 10% of the PV of your order put into like a piggy bank. So you pay for the order and everything. It shows up at your front door, but let's just say your order is 100 PV. Then Young Living is going to take 10 PV points and put that in a piggy bank. Now that happens for month 1, 2, and 3. Come month 4 that you're on the loyalty rewards program and your order needs to be over 50 PV, okay? Then it's beautiful because Young Living gives you 20% of the PV of your order, sticks it in your piggy bank. So literally, that's if you order 100 PV, you get 20 PV points put into your piggy bank. Wow, wow, wow. And the reason I'm sharing this in such great detail is because I still have a lot of customers on my team who aren't utilizing the loyalty rewards program. And I just wanted to reiterate and say how absolutely amazing it is, because this is something that I hope we can all start benefiting from more. And come month 25, you're earning 25% of the PV of your order in points every single month. So, I mean, it's easy for me to go 3 months and have this slew of points saved up that I can go ahead. And that's actually what I'm going to do. I have a ton of points right now, so I'm going to actually use a lot of my points to purchase my Christmas products, Christmas gifts, as well as adding some to my loyalty rewards order.
Yeah,
So
that's
that's
amazing
cool
that
too.
you would say that, because I have to say I do the exact same thing. When it comes to, you save up those points all year long, and then that's what you use to buy everybody's Christmas stuff. So yeah,
yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah.
And you know what, Elizabeth,
Mhm.
I always like to say, I want to tell you about the best way that you can obtain our products. And I'm not saying this because I want to talk you into anything,
Mhm.
but I don't want you to miss out in case it's something that will be of value to you. And then I'll talk about the
There you
loyalty
go.
rewards, because if you don't, you may have someone come back to you and say 3 months from now, well, I just read about this loyalty rewards thing. I could have been getting points. Why didn't you tell me?
Mhm. Mhm.
So that being said, I
Mhm.
have told people over the years, and I have one of my team members, she's been with me for a long time, but she laughs every time we bring this up, because she'll say, yeah, you told me. Yeah, you told me every month. And finally, after about 9 months, I added up. She had ordered every month. I added up
Wow.
what she ordered. I added up the points she would have had in her piggy bank. And I told her, I said, I don't want to be ragging on you, but I just want you to know that since you've come to love the products, you're using them, getting benefit. Here's what you would have had in your piggy bank if you just ordered them on loyalty rewards. And she goes,
Oh my goodness. I
oh,
know. That's
way.
the shocker.
I know. So anyway, it's just, you don't want people to miss out, but everybody has to make their own decision. You know?
Mhm.
I've actually had I've had it happen the opposite way, where I didn't mention it because I didn't want to seem pushy, right? And then they discovered essentially the loyalty rewards program a few months later and was like, why didn't you tell me? And I felt so bad. I actually gifted them some products and stuff because of all of the money that they had missed out on, because I just didn't want to mention it. I was like, oh, I
Mhm.
don't want to be all pushy and all that jazz. And so now I learned, I'm like, I just mention it to everybody because I don't want somebody to call me and be upset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If anything, and this is so funny because each time that my printer says that it's low on ink, it gives me this option to sign up for an auto shipment of ink. And so if someone doesn't even know marketing in the way that we do, the style of business model that Young Living is, or maybe they don't have any auto shipment of products kind of a thing. If they just work in an office, they're still going to understand what an auto ship is, because you've got printer ink, you probably have different programs that you're using, different software programs and things like that that you pay monthly for. And with us, you can change the day of your shipment, and you can change the products on your shipment. Loyalty rewards only needs to be 50 PV a month in order to earn those rewards points. If it goes under 50 PV, your order will still ship out. You just won't get the rewards points for that month. So I do want to state that. And this month, as I'll show soon, most months, okay, so here's point number 3. Let me get back to point number 3, is that when your order with Young Living reaches 190 PV or 250 PV or 300 PV, Young Living automatically adds in the free promotion products for that month. And what's beautiful is that if you are on our loyalty rewards program, then they automatically add in an extra free product at each of those spots. So check this out. This is the October PV promotions, okay? I'm gonna go through this real quick. So at 100 PV, you are getting 10 loyalty rewards points. And this is if you're placing a loyalty rewards order. So this is specific just for loyalty members. And it's not every month that Young Living will do something at the 100 PV mark, but oftentimes they do. So you'll actually earn 10 extra loyalty points on top of what you'll already be earning. At the 190 PV mark, okay, cinnamon bark is given to anyone and everyone who places an order that's 190 PV. If you're a loyalty rewards member, you get pine, a 5 milliliter of pine essential oil, and a 5 milliliter of nutmeg essential oil. Now jumping up to, if your order's over 250 PV for all orders, then they're adding in a clove 15 milliliter and a copaiba 5 milliliter plus the 190 rewards. Okay. And then, oh my goodness, when we jump up to the 300 PV mark, they're adding in a multi-greens supplement. And if you've never used this supplement, I take it every single day and I love it. I can tell how it really supports my energy levels, for one. And it's something I definitely take when I travel because I'm out and around so many other things. And it's a beautiful support for the overall healthy immune system as well. So at the 300 PV mark, if you are on the loyalty rewards program and you order 300 PV, you get $191.79 retail value of products in gifts. That's like almost $200 in gifts when you purchase 300 PV. Holy goodness. Isn't that amazing?
It is. It's phenomenal. I can remember when Young Living first introduced this giving of gifts. And when they first started it years ago, it was like, oh, about once a quarter, they'd surprise us with a grouping of gifts. And we just thought we were in heaven. We just thought, this is amazing. And then they would make it every 2 months. And eventually they made it every 1 month. And then, of course, they introduced the loyalty part of that whole thing. And it's such a gift. I mean, one of the things that I love to do, talking about gifts and gift giving, is if I end up with some extra oils because I've gotten them free, I will use those as gifts for people. So
yeah, absolutely. I've definitely have done that before too, is just use the gifts that Young Living gives you and regift them. They don't need to know you got it for free.
But there are some that I never give because I use them all the time.
Oh, totally. So we're going to go into these specific oils and what they do in just a minute, but I want to finish out these 5 points as far as how you can maximize your savings. So that was point number 3. Point number 4 is purchase loyalty reward bundles. So if you're a loyalty rewards member, you can search for reward bundles, and there's a Ningxia Red bundle. There's all sorts of different bundles that you can purchase. Beverly or Aunt Jan, do you have any specific bundles that you've purchased in the past and you enjoy?
Oh, the Thieves bundle for sure.
Oh yeah.
See, yeah, and the Ningxia Red bundle. That's the only way I ordered Ningxia Red, because in our family we have a lot of adults and kids that drink it every day. So it's absolutely the best way to order it. It's the most, if you price it out ounce for ounce, every which way that you can buy it, that bundle is the most economical bundle. And when it's in your rewards order, you get free points. And you get free products. So it's a win-win.
Total win-win. That's phenomenal. I was going to see if I could bring this up and just see, let's see, Thieves bundle reward. Looking, here we go. Okay, so let me view all. I'm going to share my screen real quick because I think this is just valuable to show these really, really quickly here. Ta-da. Okay, so here we have, all I did is I clicked on search, I typed in reward, and then here we go. Ningxia Red loyalty reward bundle and Thieves loyalty rewards. So with the Ningxia Red, you get 4 bottles of Ningxia Red and 30 single packets for $2.10. And like Aunt Jan was saying, that's the absolute best price you can get, is doing it as a loyalty rewards bundle. And then the Thieves loyalty, oh my goodness, has all of these things in it I was looking for a specific list of them, but yeah, all the great Thieves
Yeah,
products.
I love the little sanitizer sprays. But the 2 bottles of Thieves and then the 2 hand soaps, the toothpaste, the 2 it's 2 of the sanitizers, like the hand
Mhm.
sanitizers, and then 1 bottle of Thieves. And what's fun is sometimes these are like the little things that you can give away, right? Like give away 1 of your 2 Thieves sprays or 1 of
Oh.
your hand sanitizers. Or even if you're
Totally.
going to be sampling out, like you can sample out 1 of those 2 bottles of cleaner. And it just, for me, it really kind of ticks all the boxes because it's only 133.
Wow, that's wonderful. Yeah. So very economical. And those 2 bottles of Thieves Cleaner have like saved my house.
Yeah, and
I
Janine on Facebook actually brings up a really good point because she says
Mhm.
that she loves that she can order the supplements each month through Young Living and get loyalty points and free gifts for all of the supplements that she orders, which is phenomenal. So I love
Yes.
ordering the supplements too. And when it's monthly, it's like you don't have to think about what you have to reorder every single month. You know, it's like it just kind of comes and shows up. And I know I've
Yeah.
got some things in my MindWise is something that I use monthly. I use Ningxia Red monthly. I use the greens, you know, I
Yes.
don't go through an entire thing of greens every month, but it's just all of those things are just so nice to have. And
Mhm.
then you can have like your favorites down below. So things like the Young Living Collagen, for example, it lasts a little bit more than a month. So it's like you can put it down there and then you can just pop it up into your
Mhm.
basket every time you need it.
That's what I do as well. There's things I use every month and then every 2 months kind of a thing. Thieves Cleaner maybe every 3 months, and it's so great to do that. So let's see here. Point number 5 is purchasing holiday bundles from the holiday catalog, which is coming soon to a online store near you. So yes, Young Living is going to be coming out with their holiday catalog very soon. And I've heard that they're bundling a lot of our current products, but in some fun, snazzy ways. So keep an eye out for that. I don't know exactly when it's coming out, but it's going to be a great holiday launch for that. And that is always a way that you can save over the holidays with some, some special mixtures of things. So there's our 5 points. Now, how many stores do you know? Like if you go to a shopping mall and you get to the checkout counter and they're like, your bill is $300. Okay, thank you. Here's my credit card. Ching, you walk out the door. They never ask you, hey, guess what? So did you know with your $300, I'm going to give you this extra skirt and this extra pair of shoes, and here's some sunglasses with your order. Thanks you so much for shopping with us today. Like you never get that. You don't get that in Walmart. Those kiosks as you're in the checkout line to Walmart are specifically put there so they can sell you more stuff while you're frustrated waiting in line. Right? I need some gum. I need some chocolate. I need some chips. I need a Starbucks coffee for Pete's sake, right? So how cool that we actually get all of these amazing blessings with Young Living. And number 6, last but not least, really is that Young Living does flash sales. So anytime you can take advantage of those, that's always a come and go kind of a way that we can save.
That's awesome.
So let's dive into the actual products for October and talk about how each of these can be a blessing to our health, to our everyday overall lifestyle. So, and Aunt Jan or Beverly, feel free to jump in with these, but I'll go ahead and start us off here with multigreens. Oh my goodness. In a season when your body needs an extra boost, keep going strong with multigreens. You can support your overall health with this combination of invigorating greens such as spirulina, alfalfa sprout, barley grass, eleuthero, Pacific kelp, and more. And I do know that it has an essential oil in it that's very, very powerful, of Melissa. So the beautiful thing about Young Living supplements is that we infuse them with essential oils in the formulation. And that is something you'll rarely, I won't say ever, but you'll rarely find out there on the supplement market, is supplements that are infused with essential oils. One thing we know about adding essential oils to supplements is that they help with the overall absorption in the body. And as we know, Young Living has 40 specific essential oils that are labeled Vitality. And if you see that white Vitality label on there, it's going to tell you how to use it in small amounts internally. So those Vitality oils are generally regarded as safe for internal consumption. And as I was going through our list of oils today, we have several that do also come in the Vitality version. So clove comes in Clove Vitality, copaiba Vitality, cinnamon bark Vitality, pine, no, but nutmeg comes in a Vitality version. So we may talk about a few ways that you can use the Vitality version just for the sake of education, so that you know a little bit about both versions and both ways of using the oil. I think that's fine here today, as long as we specify if it's used for topical use or internal use as a dietary supplement.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
So let's see, Aunt Jan, are there specific things about clove that you've enjoyed about this oil?
Oh, well, number one, I love the smell of clove. I've always loved the smell of clove. And then especially this time of year. This time of year, it's so reminiscent of anything to do with fall and the holidays and the Christmas season. So it's just one of those. For me, it's very uplifting. And the thing that I love about almost all of these oils that we're talking about today is they all have a really historical background. I mean, some of them have been around for years. And as I was kind of doing a little research, I thought this was so important to know that clove, it was originally found in an island in the off of South America or Africa. Anyway, the island is called Ternate. And it was an island where the islanders, they were basically very healthy and free of any diseases. And when they were invaded by a foreign invader, it was probably in about the 16th century, many of their clove trees, clove grows on a tree, they were destroyed. And after that population of people that didn't have access to that natural spice, that natural tree, they started experiencing health issues that they hadn't experienced before. So I always find the history of these very fascinating. So it's not like it's something that we just thought of, 20 years ago, oh, let's start using clove. I mean, it's been around forever as a spice, and of course, as an essential oil.
Yeah.
And, I think the fact that even in the recent past, clove oil, the main ingredient in clove oil is eugenol. And that was used in the dental industry for many years as an agent to kind of deaden the gums, so that it would relieve the effects of them working in your mouth. And all you have to do, because it's very irritating when you've got a dentist working in your mouth. So it was a relief for people, and that's recent history. Yeah.
Yes.
So I mean, so many ways that we use it. Diffusing, of course. It's just one of those great blends. I love to diffuse it with tangerine or orange. Also combined with cinnamon. Yeah. And with the Vitality, anything that you want to have that clove either taste in or get the benefits of clove in your body, 2 or 3 drops mixed in a liquid, or 2 or 3 drops in a capsule with a little B6 or a little diluting carrier oil is just such a great way to support your body.
Well, one of the main Christmas recipes that I think of is hot apple cider. And so I'll take the clove version of apple cider, and I have a great recipe that actually takes clove Vitality, cinnamon bark Vitality, and nutmeg Vitality, all 3 of these, plus some orange Vitality. And I add that to my apple juice. Sometimes I'll add a little bit of pineapple juice to it or maybe pear juice to cut it. And best apple cider ever.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, and another great thing about the Vitality, and I actually just learned this. I use other things. If you have kind of a tickling cough, and boy, that certainly happens in the fall and the winter, you can put a drop of clove just on the back of your tongue. You could use a little dropper or maybe even use a toothpick, put a drop of clove on the back of your tongue, and that can help to relieve a tickling cough. So that was a new thing that I just learned. So I'm going to definitely keep that in the back of my head as we go into winter here.
Yes.
Elizabeth, as you're talking about the mulled or apple cider, I actually love to do the same thing, but with Ningxia Red. So I'll warm up my Ningxia Red, and sometimes like instead of coffee and stuff like that, I'll have like my Ningxia Red hug in a mug where it's just like Ningxia Red. It's 2 shots of Ningxia Red in about 6 to 8 ounces of water or so. And you can put those same Vitality oils in, and not only does it smell amazing, like as it's warming up, but you just like, put that in a mug. I can drink that. That's like my fall tea all season long. I just love it.
Yeah. And the beautiful thing is about those Vitality oils, they all have supportive properties for the immune system as well as digestive system. So what a blessing when we sometimes eat more than we should during the holidays, that a lot of the recipes include those things and can be a great benefit to us too. So that's fun. Well, and last but not least, clove is one of the main ingredients in the Thieves Essential Oil blend. So if you smell thieves, chances are you're going to pick up on that smell of clove. And you can always take like your Thieves household cleaner and add extra clove to it if you want a little bit more of that clovey smell and effect to your cleaning agents as well. Now, Copaiba.
Oh, I love this one.
I know.
It's a powerhouse.
It's so amazing.
15 ml bottle. Is it a big bottle?
It's a 5 ml. Yeah, the rest of these are 5 ml
15
bottles.
Is 5. Okay. Wow.
Oh my goodness. But what's beautiful is in the 5 ml bottles, you have between 75 to 100 drops of essential oil. And someone asked me the other day, oh, well, does that mean there's like less oil in one bottle and more in another? I said, no, it's actually because the velocity, the thickness or the thinness of an oil is dependent on the natural constituents and properties found in that oil. And so some oils are thicker and gunkier and will come out in bigger drops, and some oils are thinner. Like peppermint is a very thin oil. And so your drops may be a little bit smaller when they come out. So you're going to have more drops per bottle, seemingly. And then something like myrrh that's very thick, and myrrh can even get kind of gunky in the bottle if you leave it open to air for too long. Those drops are a lot thicker and a lot bigger, kind of a thing. So that's interesting.
Yeah, Copaiba Vitality. I want to make a comment on how it tastes. Okay.
Yes.
The Copaiba Vitality for me tastes like a really light cinnamon. Like it has a lighter cinnamon flavor. Talking about baking with essential oils, which I do a lot. I have one of my favorite gifts that you can give to the bakers in your life is you can actually grab a clove Vitality, a ginger Vitality, a cinnamon Vitality, and do like a Copaiba or one of those other nice spicy oils. There's even a coriander Vitality oil, which is fantastic in tea and also fantastic in baked goods. So with Copaiba, the Copaiba Vitality is very supportive to, it supports a very healthy inflammatory response. That's one of the reasons why when you use it topically, the topical version can feel very soothing to sore muscles. But when you take it internally, it will support that that response that you have to inflammation. And so if you're going through something like that's very stressful and you have a lot of like inflammation triggers and stuff like that, you can actually put a drop or two of that Copaiba into like your oatmeal or into a cookie recipe or something like that. And you get that good flavor along with that good support.
Yes. Donald, did you have something you'd like to add?
Oh, well,
If
I'm
you'd like.
sorry I was on, I thought I wasn't on video, but yes. Um, you were talking earlier about the savings on the rewards kits. And
Yes.
I usually have figured out that it's like 10%.
Mm-hmm.
I
Okay.
just figured out the Ninja Red one, it's 14%.
Whoa.
So as a as a rewards member, you're getting up to 25% in in points put in your piggy bank, and I love that idea of
Mm-hmm.
speaking of it as your piggy bank because
Mm-hmm.
that makes it easy to
It's
understand.
it's a fun visual way to think of it.
Oh
A
no, it's
little
perfect.
slightly childlike.
No, it's not. It's perfect because people relate to it, and trying to explain all the rewards and stuff drives them crazy. But that picture, oh, piggy
Yeah,
bank, I got that.
we get
And
that. Okay.
and when I talk to people about being a member, it's a Costco membership. It's
Yes.
it's whatever you're going to do that so you can get in there and get the better pricing, the wholesale pricing. So anyway, but it's an extra 14%. Usually I've checked and most of them are at least 10% on any time that they offer a bonus package.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
about a 10% bonus. This one is 14%.
That's amazing. Wow. Thank you for sharing that and for figuring that out. And the other beautiful thing about adding Ningxia Red to your loyalty rewards is just that you get this beautiful, massive, big box at your front door and all the bonuses that go along with it, you know?
I just thought of something else.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you're talking about Christmas stuff, and of course I'm Jewish, so I think, well, that doesn't apply to me.
You
But there's
sure?
certain holiday stuff I end up giving out. Having packages of those 2 ounce packs of the singles, of
Oh,
the Ninja Red
yes.
singles, you could give those whatever you want. But
Mm-hmm.
those little things with a note, it could be a very nice little kind bonus for people.
It really is, especially to support energy levels. I had a gal that I gave her a bag of the Thieves lozenges and 5 of the packs of Ningxia Red. And you would have think like she won the lottery. Oh my goodness, this lady was so excited. And here's a kind of funny thing. That night we were hanging out and she goes, Elizabeth, I found a great way to use my Ningxia Red packet. And I go, oh, what did you do? And she hands me her Yeti cup and goes, guess what's in here? And she'd added a little bit of vodka.
Ooh.
It was delicious.
Yeah,
Little ice, little vodka and her Ningxia Red packet.
a Ninja Mary instead of a Bloody Mary.
Bloody Mary, it's a Ningxia Mary.
Funny. I've seen actually, I've put mine into sparkling wine.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that has been really
Same.
delicious. Like if you're making a little mimosa or something like
Yes.
that, like using the Ningxia Red instead of the orange juice is really yummy.
It's so good. So good. Okay, moving on. Thank you, Donald, so much for sharing that. So cinnamon bark, oh my goodness, another amazing one and ancient. Cinnamon bark is ancient. I'm talking thousands of years old this has been used. So what a blessing that we have it in essential oil form. And as we know, it has a very warm, spicy aroma. Cinnamon bark essential oil does more than simply smell good. This invigorating oil cleanses the air and creates a warming sensation when placed on the skin. So creating that warming sensation cleansing the air. Okay, so really quick to go to cleansing the air. Did you know that when you're diffusing essential oils, the cleansing properties of that oil will go into the air, and whatever's floating around in the air, it has that cleansing ability. So actually, if you think about it, I've discovered that essential oils in my house work way better than stuff like Febreze and any kind of air fresheners, because really your air fresheners mostly have so much scent that they go and they mask the smell of what's in the air. So you're like, whoa, that smells kind of good and kind of overwhelming. But really, you still have the bacteria or whatever it is, the dog dandruff stuff that you don't like the smell of, or the cat litter that, or maybe like your kid's dirty shoes that is wafting around in the air, but that air freshener isn't going to kill it. Whereas our essential oils, wow.
Elizabeth, Young Living actually just released a study about diffusing and air purification, which is over on the Royal Dream Team. And so we do actually have a scientific study that backs everything that Elizabeth was just talking about essential oils. Well, and let me tell you, it particularly, it wasn't about scents, it was about pollen, about if you diffuse essential oils, will that help get rid of pollen that is in the air? And the study was ultimately positive. The essential oil components actually bind to the pollen and drop it down to the floor, which means it's out of the air, which is great for anybody who suffers with allergies. So if you do that for pollen, just think about what it does for other things that are floating around in the air as well. I can tell you also that the scent of cinnamon bark essential oil, a little bit really goes a long way. And so my son actually had taken, I didn't realize that he had done it, but he had taken one of the diffusers and he set it up in his room and he was diffusing cinnamon bark for whatever reason. He decided that cinnamon bark was a thing. So I was upstairs on a totally different floor and I was like, what is that scent? Like, I was like, I went into my daughter's room and I was like, are you diffusing something? And I thought it was cassia because
who's baking cinnamon rolls right now? Where did those come from?
Yeah, it was so funny. And his room, it was his playroom. So it's downstairs and like in the corner of the house. I was just amazed at how much that scent really got around and purified a lot of air,
Wow. Yes, absolutely. That oil can get into all the little crevices. And the beautiful thing is that, as we know, essential oils also carry a frequency. So they have the ability to affect the overall frequency and feeling in a home too. And that will linger for a while. Even if you don't smell the oil, the properties of that oil can still linger for a while.
Yeah, so true. Janine says that she actually loves to put cinnamon vitality in coffee or in hot cocoa over on Facebook. And I just realized, you guys, that we only have like 10 minutes left in our Wednesday.
I know. We only have 2 more oils to cover, so we're good to go.
Oh, the time flies when you're having fun.
So true. I will say, okay, cinnamon bark is one of those oils that we consider a hot oil. So a lot of the oils you'd think about cooking with, like lemongrass, oregano, is probably the hottest oil. Cassia is also very hot, not necessarily you'd cook with, but if you're using it on your skin, things like lemongrass, thyme, oregano, cinnamon bark are ones that are really good if you're using it topically on the skin, is good to dilute. I like using the V6 mixing oil from Young Living. Is a great way to dilute it. Or you could use something like olive oil or coconut oil. Love coconut oil for diluting. And let's
remember, cinnamon bark is also in our thieves oil.
Yes, another one in thieves. Absolutely. So there we go. So now these two are amazing. Okay, pine. Who wants to talk about pine? Ready, set, go.
What can we say about pine? That is.
Here we go. There's what we can say about pine.
It's like what can we say about pine that we can say about pine, and it's good. So yeah, I mean, there's what it says on the screen, right? It's a fresh woodsy aroma. I can say like pine is in evergreen essence, which is one of my favorite essential oils. I actually do have a fake tree, you guys, because I'm not a fan of the pine needles. Okay. And so one of the things that I love to do is I will actually put a diffuser either in the tree on the candle setting or behind the tree, and I will pump out the pine scent so that I can still have the scent of a pine tree, even though my tree is fakey fake. So it does say that you can dilute a few drops and put it on your skin before you go hiking, because it keeps like little annoyances away. It'll keep your hike annoyance free, which is great. And then it's also it's a very grounding scent, right?
Mhm,
So
mhm.
when you just like the world is just topsy-turvy and you're not really feeling emotionally like you know which end is up, or maybe
Mhm,
your emotions aren't really matching the situation, right? Like a situation comes up and you're just really snappy, or
mhm.
it's not lining up. You can take a moment to take some deep breaths with some pine oil and get back that nice grounded feeling. And I'm telling, sometimes pine can save the world that way, is all I've got to say.
I will absolutely second that. And because any of the tree oils, pine, Northern Lights black spruce, Idaho blue spruce. Jan, what are some other tree oils? Cedar wood. Those are all so grounding.
Yeah, Northern Lights Black. We already mentioned that, Northern Lights Black spruce. But the thing that I always remember Gary saying about tree oils, the tree oils, as we know, all essential oils that come from plants are part of the protective mechanism for the tree.
Mm-hmm,
It
mm-hmm,
protects the tree from invaders, from bugs, from things that could compromise the integrity of the needles or of the tree, and that could make the tree not be healthy.
mm-hmm.
So I always think about that when I think about any plant, and of course the smell of it. I love it. Probably one of my most favorite smells is to be diffusing any combination of the tree oils. But I
Mm-hmm.
was just reading an interesting thing historically, that
Mm-hmm.
when you talked about being a smell that the critters don't like.
Mm-hmm.
That bad. So Native Americans stuffed mattresses with pine needles
Oh.
to repel things like lice and fleas.
Ooh.
So the needles is in the wintertime, any time of the year, you're going to get some oils going to be in the needles, because when we obtain the oil from the tree, usually it's done in the winter so that we can get the most oil that's out in protecting the tree, in actually the pine needles. So I just found that very fascinating, that even back then, the smell of it was recognized as something important to protect
Mm-hmm.
them, you know?
That's very good. Very good. Yeah, you think of what could be lurking in mattresses, and I don't like the
Yeah,
thought of
yeah.
that oftentimes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, speaking historically as well, with pine needles, like when you're out and hiking, sticking some pine needles into some boiling water is like one of the best things that you can do for your body. I know this isn't Pine Vitality and we don't have a Pine Vitality oil, but
Mhm.
it just made me think about that, the pine needles when you're hiking. Because I know in Colorado, they would say that all the time. They're like, oh, if you're lost and you're boiling your water or whatever, stick some pine needles in there or even chew
Wow.
on them, and it will do
Mhm.
amazing things for your body.
Wow, that's really awesome. Yeah. So last but not least, we have nutmeg. Oh my goodness. Nutmeg has a warm, spicy scent. Nutmeg's aroma energizes and uplifts, creating a refreshing breathing experience when applied topically, and also a really good one to dilute. So there's just a tiny little bit about nutmeg. There's so many more uses for it, but I would just recommend, if you end up getting these oils or already have them in your order, go ahead and just use them. Gary Young, people would ask Gary, how do I use this? What's the exact best way to do a raindrop massage? And, how do I use Vitality oils? And he's like, just use them. Just use them. Just open the bottle and smell it. And it seems so simple, right? But sometimes we get caught up in all the logistics of exactly how to use something. And the thing is, the body knows when it smells something, what it needs to do with that smell. And when you apply an oil, the body knows what it needs to do with what's on your skin. So this is
Agreed.
the amazing thing about our bodies.
And the place on your body that you can never fail, if you don't know wherever else to put it, just put a couple drops in the bottom of your feet.
Mm-hmm,
Yes.
absolutely.
Nutmeg, cinnamon, copaiba, clove, they can all go on the bottom of your feet. I remember
Yeah.
when I first had thieves, my very first order, I get this Essential 7 kit. So I called Terry and I said, Terry, so what do I do with this thieves oil? What is this about? She goes, oh, thieves. Well, just put a couple drops in the bottom of your feet and just do it in the morning when you get up after your shower. Okay. Well, and I did. And, there's plenty of stories that we can all tell about thieves. But so it was just as simple as putting it on your body. And if you can't think of anywhere else, or you're concerned about habits, or maybe even on children, the bottom of the feet is the safest place. And then it gets distributed throughout your whole body through that reflex system out of your feet.
Yeah, that's so good. So to wrap it up, Beverly, would you like to wrap us up today?
Oh, sure. Well, okay. So I know this will bring us over a little bit, but we are not doing Leadership Book Club today, you guys. So we are, I know we're going to wait. We're going to wait for a week. I wasn't able to pull it together. I'm sorry, my fault. Okay.
It's okay.
I think I'm going to share this at the end because I think the story is compliant. If it's not, somebody let me know and I'll edit it out of our video. Okay. So this is between me and you and everybody who's here on the live. Okay. So my son has a big wart on the bottom of his foot. And I know like a wart is a blemish. So maybe it is compliant. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to look it up, you guys, but this is my story. So I get to tell it. Okay. So with the thieves, I love to give my kids foot massages at night. And so I started taking the thieves and just dabbing the thieves onto the wart or whatever for no particular reason. It's just, I was already doing his feet. Right. And I can tell you that it was kind of big. It was almost like three had kind of merged together into one. It was like a little, a little patch. And it took a while, but what I was amazed with is after about, I want to say at least a month of just like that daily application, that wart actually started to go away. And now it's gone completely. And it's just, you were talking about thieves on the bottoms of your feet. So it reminded me of my son's wart that he had on his heel. And so that's amazing. And I was actually able to recreate that for somebody else's wart. It was like on the palm of their hand or something like that. And I was like, well, the thieves works for me. Like you should give it a try. And so they tried it. And sure enough, I don't think that thieves, usually when you think about thieves, you don't think about the cosmetic things that it does for your skin when you're talking about that topical thieves. But for some reason, it has gotten rid of that blemish now twice. So just throwing that out there.
That's wonderful. And
I have to say, when I first did thieves in the bottom of my feet 25 years ago, and I didn't know I could say it, but I'm going to say it now because I'm going to confirm what you just said. I had a plantar wart in the bottom of my foot. And I'd had it for years. And so, I didn't pay much attention to it, but I knew it was there. And it was almost to the point where I thought maybe I'd have to have it go cut out because it was starting to irritate a little bit when I walked. But anyway, so I did what Terry said. I put the thieves in the bottom of my feet. And it was a couple months later and I got out of the shower and put the thieves on and I go, well, look, where's that wart? So I looked in the foot. I remembered it being on. I didn't see that. I thought, well, maybe it was on the other foot. And check the other foot. It was gone.
Wow.
I'll have to look it up. I will confirm if we can talk about words.
Well, I would say that, so when we're talking about using oils topically, just so everyone gets a little education on this, is that the skin is the largest organ of the body, right? That covers the entire body. And so if we're applying
things on your skin can't affect what's inside your body and be compliant. I just wanted to slide that in there.
Yeah, no, that's what I was going to say is that if it affects your skin, we can talk about it, but you can't talk about anything underneath the skin when you're mentioning an essential oil that you're applying topically.
Yes. Yeah. Or supporting a body system when you're talking about things being topically either. Sorry to interrupt you there. I just wasn't sure. I just wanted to make sure.
I'm trying to catch me, Beverly.
I need the compliance red button. So I will let you guys know, or if somebody knows completely one way or the other, if you can mention a word, let us know. I think so because it's a skin blemish, right? So there you go. But anyway, so Renee is actually, she's saying hi and saying that they have actually used oils on a foot wart as well. So apparently we're onto something, you guys. We're totally onto something when it comes to words. And I know for me it was thieves. For you it was thieves. Renee, let us know what you used because I would be curious to know. Anyway, thank you guys so much for coming to Wednesday Wisdom and hanging out a few minutes late with us today. I hope you found it really helpful. I know just going through the promo oil, sometimes I love learning new things about products that I love, right? So next week we will be back again, and you'll get the text message with the topic because I don't remember what it was off the top of my head, but we will see you guys next week. Thanks for coming, everyone. Have a great rest of your week.
Mm-hmm. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Beverly.
Bye. Thank you guys.